Previously on Gist with 7.
What the age can do and achieve, we can do it, if not better.
Aging comes with great wisdom, worth, and experience. The same experience we've been able to use to manage the society.
I might not have the vast experience like you do, but I have technology, I have knowledge, I am creative. We are in the jet age. You are aging, so relax. This is our time and season.
What an elderly man sees sitting down, even though you climb an iroko tree, you won't still be able to see it.
For me personally, each time I see aged people, I see hope. These are our mirrors. No matter how we see it, we will definitely get old someday. So I think
get old, man.
But that is reality. You definitely get old.
No, if adults is a scam, what is old age then?
I think we should actually compare this with the African ideology of seeing aged people and old people to the way that the Western world sees them.
I know that in America, they take care of children. They don't play with children, and then secondly, they take care of the aged people.
You're looking
they
at
don't
the
play with them.
No, he's looking at the
no, of course, and that
I will never take them and drop them in a senile center or whatever old people's home.
It's for those who cannot afford it.
Who cannot afford?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
And for the fact it doesn't work for us doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
Who told you it works for them?
Wait, Manuel.
No,
so who told you it doesn't work for them?
Go find out.
You left our society and went to America.
Man,
that's the problem. But it doesn't.
For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen.
And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv.
7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
Welcome back. It's Just with 7 here on 7 TV, and we are talking about how useful is the aging population in our society. And of course, I have my guys. We are talking about this together, and a whole lot of agitations coming from them, especially John Manuel, who has a but it's actually all good. I feel that some of these aged people are scared. Do you understand? I believe that some of them are scared of being placed into inactive category. They don't want to be placed in a position that they are no longer active in the society.
The thing is this, that's what I've been saying since. If you go to the West and you ask these people if they want to be placed in such homes, truth is, many of them will tell you no.
Of course,
they
nobody
don't
wants
want
to be lonely.
They were actually meant for good, but many of them have become places where you dump old people you don't want to be responsible for anymore.
And why is
whether
that?
or not you have the wherewithal to take care of them, whether or not you have the means, some people don't want to be bothered anymore with their old ones.
Guess
So they
what?
just take guys and dump them.
Okay.
Sorry, can I just cite an
So
example
I'm
before you?
feeling
Manuel,
that it's not really going
excuse
to
me.
work.
Let me just
Hold
cite an
on.
example.
Okay.
I get you, I hear you. What you're talking about is at the abusers of this elderly home, which is rampant. People who are, they are now working and they don't want to have the burden of their elderly ones with them. So they just dump them there. It's an institution the government has created for those who cannot afford. For the betterment of the society, so they are not redundant or homeless. Because they cannot afford to pay for their mortgage or their house or whatever. So there's a home for the elderly. But if you have kids who are taking care of you, of course, those who are well brought up, who are religious, if they follow the Bible, you will know that the Bible tells you, do not forsake. Once you take care of your elders, live long,
honor your father.
Honor means get them a home,
Take care of them.
do what you're saying, pay for someone to take care of them. So you see, those are abusers. It is not the intention.
And again, you talked about loneliness, all right? And of course, we know that loneliness leads to depression. Depression kills.
Exactly.
So let's look at the effect of what is the level of depression that is going on there. I'm not actually saying that the African way of doing things is not right, but we're looking at the other way also, that if at all we have a system that works like that, it could also help, because we know that
our old people are barely depressed. Come on.
Exactly.
She actually asked a question. Now she said something, and it is what I probably want to look at. They are scared. right? See, nobody wants to be old.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be told you are getting frail. That is why we have some 70-something, 80-something-year-old
Yes,
people running
active.
for presidential offices right now.
Because you don't want to be
Do you
redundant.
understand? But the
Redundant.
truth of the matter is, they should just understand one thing. There's something we say in my place. There's an expression called "Oki Arurala," meaning mischievous old person. Like you
don't
are
want to get old.
You are old.
you are old, but
See, I
you're
don't
like a
know.
child.
That is current.
Oh, is that what
You
you
know
I don't want to.
that you are old. You know that you cannot. You cannot shake your body, shake yourself like before. You cannot think properly. You can't even grasp a thing properly. And you come out to say you want to hold
Security.
political office.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is the position, this is the perspective I'm taking that question from. I feel that if you as an old person, you had your dreams, you had your goals, you had your pursuits in life, you hoped that at some point you would achieve this thing, and in the end, it comes to this point where you feel like you are supposed to be at the helms of affairs of the country, knowing full well that the lives of people depending on you is going to go to waste if you actually assume that position. Because let's tell ourselves the truth. I don't believe that there is nobody, that there's anybody on earth who does not know the truth first and tells himself that truth before deciding to lie to himself first. Because for you to lie to yourself, you have to know the truth first.
Let me come there. Old is relative.
Yeah,
Because
old is
we know
relative.
it's age-wise. But when you talk about this aspect of you're old, shaky, and want to lead, ambition to lead, remember, this person is seasoned, experienced, knows the problem.
Knows
In
the
fact, that's the
problem.
best candidate to fix problem. But age is not on that person's side. But the person has the passion to try his best as God can give him the ability and privilege to do so and prove that Nigeria can work. If that person is given that opportunity as an old person, he will fix things because they have knowledge, fountain of knowledge, history. Do you understand? They know the intrigues of what happens in their peculiar society, community.
There
Let-
are
We know there are young ones who can do the same. Do you understand?
and if
But not
if
efficiently.
no,
let-
please let's I want to Austin,
Margaret.
let me just take this mic from you a little
but the truth is, are you telling me now?
Yeah.
Are you telling me now, as a father?
Uh-huh.
Let's assume you're a father, right? And you trained your son to become, let's say, an engineer.
Okay.
And you are actually an engineer running a company. Do you understand? Because you're going to hand over to him. Do you understand? But you are dealing with others who have been in the game and are they are there to suppress you. Do you understand? He has the expertise, but he does not have the experience to deal with these other people. He will let you come in closely, follow him, give you responsibility while he still takes care of the affair. Not because of you cannot handle it, because he wants.
Do you know what my father would do?
You
If
just
my
resign and
biological
just
father,
leave.
no, if my biological father was an engineer and
Okay.
he found that I followed in that same discipline, he trained me probably. What my father would do is he would tell me to go, but he would give me guidelines and guidance. He will not try to be at the helm of affairs because he understands that with his experience and my strength, his experience is
I like
only
the fact that they
experience-
distinguish strength and
his
experience.
experience is there to guide me. My strength is there to hold that office.
Great.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I feel that if you feel that number one, you cannot stand up, you're walking down the road and you're stumbling.
You are being very biased now.
I don't think he is being biased.
Yes.
I think so.
Like,
because-
see, how do you stand?
Leadership
How do you
is not about strength.
It's not about strength.
We-
Okay, I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
It is about everything. This is not this position that they are vying for is a job.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They are number one, that's the position of the number one civil servant in the country.
Yes.
Now, anybody who's looking for a basic, regular job and whatever, you would present a clean bill of health now. You need to let them know that you are healthy. They will tell you to go for sorry, sir.
Yeah.
They'll tell you to go for medical checkup. Go and check yourself. If it was not important, if leadership was not about strength, none of those things will matter. So, for you to be holding that position, they need to understand that you have the health to handle that position. One of the
Okay.
old men,
Yeah.
one of them,
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that he has no son who's old enough to run for that position. How do you say that? Okay, if your son is
That's
not old
matured
enough,
enough. experience
he
enough.
didn't say mature enough.
That's
he said
not just telling you what it
old enough.
means.
You know, one of the
okay, so-
Yeah, it
Germany,
could actually be a connotative statement anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry to cut you. You know, we've been saying something, and I believe that one of the things that aged people always say is that aging comes with great wisdom, and like we've always been saying. And now you are looking at it from the point that if they are to take, for example, leadership positions and all of that, they should look for a young person. And my question out there now is, how prepared is these young people? Because, like, one, we have experience. The aged people have a lot of experience. Most young people do not even know history. They don't understand a whole lot of. No, I'm stating an example. So my question is still what I'm saying now. How prepared could you actually? You're pointing.
He
you're
said
pointing-
something. No,
how prepared do you
let
think?
me
How
say
prepared
something.
are the youth?
I've learned, as much as they have scrapped history from the curriculum and everything, records have been there somehow, some way, stories passing down from the old ones and all of their wisdom, as much as we didn't see anything. But each person's story is correlating. We know that there was a war because everybody said there was a war. We know that there was a president who was a despot because everybody said he was a despot. So we now have come to learn everything there is to know about our past. That's my experience.
Okay,
Awesome.
can I say
Awesome.
something?
Awesome. Tell me.
Let me say something. I like the fact that you said, when we talk about old people, you say it's relative, right? You see, truth be told, the fact that young people should be given an opportunity, correct, all right? But there's a difference between a practical experience, like you say, experience to be learned. Of course, young people got the knowledge, they've gone to school, they've read the history and all of that, all right? But when it comes to practical terms, doing it, it's just like when you, by the time you come out of school, you feel, you're a first class student, and now coming to where you're supposed to work for an organization to do the job, all right, you begin to flop.
Yes,
all right,
because you're
and then
not
you find a man
experienced.
who don't have up to your degree.
That's right.
All right,
But he
but
has
he
experience.
guides you in the job.
Yeah, because he has experience.
One man told me
He's
something.
failures.
He's the dean of this university, Bingham University,
Okay.
economic whatever department. He said, we were talking. It's an absolute problem. He said, it's being a manager of an organization. In code, big organization. Let me use that. He said it's not about you coming out of school and then you want to go for a managerial position. He said experience. Because there are certain questions when people are making contributions, people are making, you're in a board meeting and then a lot of contributions are making to tackle a particular problem, all right? Then at the end of it all, the question will come back to you. Now as the manager, what solution are you providing? Then you speak by experience. I remember in social times something like this came up, but this is the way I handle
But
it.
as much as I don't even remember anything like that, I have seen young people. I'm sorry, but I've seen young people come out of the universities, start businesses. You understand? They enter. The fact is, when I own a business, it is successful and goes global. I am at the height of the managerial position.
I understand. But remember, we're talking about
I will
a nation.
employ a board of advisors. Simple and short.
Do you know what somebody said? No.
I'll get the seasoned people.
Mr. John,
Board of advisors.
do you know what somebody said?
Advisors.
The board of advisors, are they going to be young people?
No, the reason that those board of advisors, the board of advisors could be young people, but there are people who have better experience in that field than me.
But at this point, excuse me, at this point, I really want us to get to something. I want us to actually identify those things that we need to, as young people, what are the things we really need to gain from the aged people? Because I know there's a lot we need to gain from them, aside the fact that yes, they are experienced and they need to leave some certain positions that they hold. But as youth, it's very important that we know the things that we need to know about them, instead of, I don't know where you go, what I'm saying.
I guess.
It's just like that.
The truth, right? Do you know that in this country, the youth, the young ones, well, they are old, but they're still young.
Yeah.
They're actually occupying positions like governors, House of Rep members. Do you know that? It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
All right.
When you think of, in the African sense, when you think of a king, do you think of a young man or an old man?
That's a bad.
I'm just saying.
Our minds have been
See, I'm looking up.
They have raped our minds so bad.
Let me just ask you a question.
The reason that they are old, the reason that some of them are
2
old
minutes.
is because they took up that mantle when they were young, and that title they can't drop it till they die. It is transferred by bequeathal from father to son, and you have to die first to give it to the other person. You know, so yes, it is the reason that most times you find kings who are old, because they all have to live through their lives being king. All of their lives they are going to be king. Okay. And if you're going to live all of your life as a king, then you're going to find a lot of old kings. You understand what I'm saying? Until a father dies, the son is not a king. So many fathers are still alive, and their sons are not yet king. But when the father dies, a son who's 18 becomes a king. So that does not even matter for me here. Does not even play.
But guess what? Guess what? It's just because normally, like you rightly say, they will live through their life being kings, right?
And they'll be learning by experience.
And what is the young boy doing?
Guess now, the boy too is learning by experience. I remember, mind you, he's also growing.
And he's being guided.
And he's being guided.
He's being guided.
Then, it's just life. That's circumstances. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that because he's an old king, he's a great king.
No.
No,
It doesn't mean he's a great king.
But his experience.
We need. See, we're talking of now in present time.
Let's just put this analogy. This guy grows as a prince while his father is still alive. Let's say God gives him 110 years. Surely this guy will be like 60, 70, or maybe 50 years old
when his father dies.
When his father dies, is that guy not old? He's got experience.
He's got experience.
Guided under his father. Doesn't mean it doesn't determine that he's going to be a good king. We're not talking about good or bad, but he has experience. He knows what he's going to do when he becomes a king. But he has gathered age.
Like I'm saying,
biologically,
this analogy would have worked.
I am still saying what I'm saying. I feel like my questions have not. Aside the fact that I believe that one way or the other, the old people have actually robbed the young ones of knowledge. And I think it's not basically
opportunity,
not knowledge. And that is because we live in a society where you have some greedy old guys.
And also,
you understand?
So what about the young people as well? Let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be right back.
For advert placement, you can call the number on your screen.
And you can visit our website at www.7fm.tv.
7TV Nigeria.
7TV. 7TV. It's all about you.
Welcome back. It's Just with 7 here on 7 TV, and we are talking about how useful is the aging population in our society.
You said something earlier when you talked of age. I mean, when you talk of the word old, is relative in a sense that, for me, once you're able to deliver, of course, if you have health challenges, you shouldn't go there. Okay, but once you're able to deliver, you have the technical know-how, you have a track record, you can deliver, then what stops you from
no problem. But you heard what I said. You heard what I said.
Okay.
As much as everybody prays to grow old, nobody prays to be old
and weak.
But the thing is, like I said, it is mischievous that you know that you're not strong. That's what I said.
But he has the capacity.
You know you're not strong. Sir, forget about capacity. Capacity
can
be built.
I can call America, and America will ship me whatever I want.
America will ship you what you want.
Yes.
The capacity.
But you don't have the capacity.
No. If I become president, that capacity, I put on that capacity as a cap.
I think we need to make it straight.
The truth is,
sorry, Jaman. I think we need to make it straight here so that for clarity, all right. Capacity. If you are going, you talked about if you are going for social position and you are not strong enough, you shouldn't go for it. For instance,
strength-wise,
strength-wise, because
mental-wise.
Strength-wise,
you need to be whole.
Strength-wise,
you need to be whole.
Network-wise,
and being whole.
Influence-wise.
No. Let me say something.
For the position of a president, you need strength. You're going to do a lot of traveling.
You're going to use a lot of.
You need
campaign
alone.
And even health-wise as well.
That's where you get it wrong.
No, the campaign alone is physically innovative.
Yes,
it drains you. So
sirs,
you need
brothers. We're getting it wrong. Do you understand? Being a leader, why are you a leader? Are you telling me that the coach knows how to play football more than the footballers? He has experience. He knows who can deliver. So he will point that person to the right direction.
But he goes to the field, do some training
Yes,
with them.
he goes.
And then
Imagine he has a broken leg. I'm just telling you, if he's an experienced coach, do you understand? He does not need to have that physical strength his players has, right? All he has is techniques, wisdom, knowledge, direction. You point them to where to go. We need someone who will point our country.
John, we need to make this. Let's
What we
no,
need
it's not
is
being
more
biased.
than
We're talking about the
That's what
president
his
of a
job
What
nation.
we
is.
need
He's
is
not to do the physical job.
We're talking
more
about the
than just
president
pointing
of a
because, sir,
nation.
how can you look at first and foremost as a president?
Yeah.
As a president, you need your full faculty because look, the
Yeah.
problem
The
of the
faculty is
country.
working
Sorry,
now.
excuse me. No, if the faculty was working, you would not say that a person. You would not think that your people will be willing to eat corn for breakfast, cassava for lunch, and yam for dinner. You need to be able to think and say, okay, beyond any of these things, what exactly do my people need? Look, ingenuity comes with being young. That's why it's called your productive years. That's why we are told that our productive years are our youthful years, our young years, because your brain works faster, it works more. If you put myself and an old person in a room and a well advanced person in a room, and you asked us to play through a puzzle, sir, I will do better.
Of course.
Because why? My brain is working better. My brain is fast. You know, my cells, my cranial cells are not dying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
That is what you need in a president. Somebody who can sit down and say, like Oga Sabinus, focus. You understand? Set the compass of the country. So think, because a lot of things are going to be coming your way. You need to make decisions. You think, ask yourself one question. People who go there young come out with gray hairs. Do you understand? A man who goes there with gray hairs comes out with what? You get what I'm saying? So you need somebody.
Okay, but please let me quickly say something. I'm seeing, just like Jomani rightly said, he's standing for the youth. And this is
I'm not standing for the whole group.
No, I know. We are not
yes,
they are useful, very useful.
Them.
Yes, they're
but we
useful.
don't need
Just
them
come
to
and tell
drive.
us. No, don't drive.
Yes, let us drive. Let them
But
guide
if
us.
if I'm to understand what John Manuel is actually saying, this is a case where
he's angry. He doesn't want the.
Yes,
I feel you,
they are angry. The youth are angry. They are tired of the aged people trying to keep promising, and at the end of the day they don't do anything, not performing and not doing stay there. So right now,
that is the problem.
So your point is they should just
share that
leave.
position.
So your point is they should
and time
leave.
is going.
But
getting old.
Yes,
and they're not giving us that
so
opportunity.
they should leave and allow
because you know
the
why?
young people
Do you know
to
why?
take charge.
They got the opportunity when they were young.
Exactly.
And they have been holding the opportunity.
Yes.
And they don't want to leave.
And they've been fighting themselves.
By the time we get
and
old,
denying themselves.
By the time we get old, we will still continue giving analysis. We're going to be the analysis population.
So we're talking about an ideal system.
Yes.
But the truth, so which brings me to this particular question that I really want to ask you guys. So do you think that when it comes to political positions between the aged people and the young people, who is likely to govern better? Who is likely to take up the...
Both of them. If they decide to work together with the young people in front and the old people understanding their positions, that they are just in that place to provide advice.
Okay, just advice.
You understand? They have to stand only in advisory roles and positions. They
Not
can be
to take up the
cabinet
positions
members,
themselves.
right? They can be no. They can be special advisor on. Let them be special advisors on everything, and we'll take their advice. The fact is that most of these people have not been given the opportunity to actually experience these things. Do you understand? Now that's the problem. Most of us, while you're looking at the youth and thinking that they cannot do anything because of what experience do you have, man, give them the experience then, because you were given the experience by somebody.
Fast and furious, you can do all that stuff. But you don't have experience in driving, the temperament. But do you know why people ask for experience? Take for example a driver. You just learned to drive some few weeks back, and then you have an experienced driver who's been driving for like 5 years. Experience means he must have encountered danger firsthand and knew what
he was able to handle.
Do you understand? You're a good driver. You're a young person. You want to handle that job and you don't have that experience. They're not talking about the deliverable now. They're talking about the pressure
how you've been
that
able
comes
to,
out. Have you ever tried to manage that pressure?
Have you asked yourself, have you imagined something? Imagine that inexperienced driver had the ghost of an experienced driver always with him 24/7 by his side.
Did you do that too?
Forget that. Let us imagine that.
You see what? No. You see what?
Just imagine that there was an experienced driver.
Okay.
24/7 beside. After all, how did he learn? He had an experienced driver by his side before he came to that place. Before he was not a driver. At least he wasn't a driver. Then he had an experienced driver teaching him. He became a driver.
This is a system that doesn't work.
In a way, but let's learn to give people opportunity.
Let's
learn to give.
But do you know?
So, but wait, let me ask. What about a case whereby an aged person decides to give a younger person opportunity to do something, and at the end of the day, the young person flops? What do you make out of that?
Yeah, let the young
and they'll be
person
like,
flop first,
okay,
That's his own experience.
you people have been
His own
complaining.
experience, he becomes wiser because that old person too flopped. That is why the system is the way it is. They all flopped. So allow me as a young person too, so that at the end of the day you can say he got wiser, like Austin said, through a series of mistakes. Let me make my own mistakes.
But you know,
he could be.
I've listened to an aged person say something that the young people are always in a hurry to make decisions, and at the end of the day they make mistakes.
Okay.
When they brag about a certain thing and you allow them to do it, at the end of the day they don't bring a good result out of it. So they feel on their own, they believe that okay, the best thing to do about this is to just allow them grow while we continue. Like that was what an aged person told me. And from Jomanel, what Jomanel is saying, okay, let the young people, is very good. It's very, very good. But what about cases where aged people have, they've had experience of failure from the young people? No.
Like,
when I mean experience, it's not even. I'm
like
not talking about political. I'm not talking about political positions or all that.
I mean, like
okay, you feel like you have a
life,
son, and you feel like okay, now I want to check my son's wisdom, ability, and capacity to take up position, even when I'm not around.
And the son makes mistakes.
Or responsibility.
Responsibility. And oftentimes you've been giving him, tasks and responsibilities.
Look, even the Bible says you will fall 7 times. 7 times you will rise again. Like she is saying, what about old people who have had series of experiences of failures from the young person? Sir, you as an old man, come and tell me that you did not fail a couple of times, and let us.
So that means this position that we are actually looking out for, like for the age to make way for the young people. That means we should also expect failure from the young. Is that what you're trying to say?
If we are to bring it to what is currently happening in our country today, as it is like this, the people or the person or candidate representing the young has actually had his own fair share of failures, has had his fair share of experiences, has had his fair share of being able to do what these old people are doing, has had his own fair share of successes. So this is a living, breathing bag of experience.
I know it's in a level, because going to a higher level now, you're still going to meet something you have not seen before. I mean, it's a state, for instance, is a microcosm of a nation. All right? A nation is a wider scope, wider responsibility. You need wider knowledge. All right, so it doesn't mean also that because he has had a experience in a state, he's coming up to
the other person too. The other person too who's coming has never handled this position before. He too has handled a state as a microcosm or whatever you call it of the nation.
Quickly, you guys should just tell us, with all these things, what do you think is the best place for the aged people?
Well,
what's their place in the society?
I think to wrap up, right, the age can be, if they still want to maintain that level of leadership, they should leave other position vacant for the youth. That's the driving force of the nation. Like, take for example, I would like where councillors to local government chairmen are youth, especially when you come out from university. Those positions be open for you. Even governorship, then those governors, they should now go to the House of Representatives.
No, you're right.
I'm just saying they should create a system that shows transition. Not an elder. There are some elderly people who are running for councillorship. So they should just create a system where people
can grow.
Okay, so
we need to grow. But they should not be recycling themselves within all.
I actually agree with him. But even in the case of, because if you already understand it, if they would do it, if they would do it in such a way that I'm not really a politician. He's a person who really understands political stuff. Now, I would say, if you would do it, that the House of Reps members
should be young youths.
Would be youth.
Yes, and then the Senate are the elderly people.
Will be the elderly. And then there should be
a merge.
You understand?
Of
agreements. There should be a place where these people meet so that there is experience transference. There is all of these things. Meanwhile, you leave the position of the president and vice president to
the elderly.
The youth.
Okay, I think for me,
not youth, the elderly.
I think for me, like all of us, there should be a balance.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
There should be a transparent process of transition.
Yeah.
Okay. In as much as the youth should be given a place, we also know that the place of the elderly can
never be overemphasized.
A proverb that says, "What an old man can see sitting down." Right,
the
young man, even though climbing,
come and tell me.
Come and might not be able to see that. All right, so for me, let there be a balance. So if this is done in a transparent way, I think we'll have a very.
It's like having a CEO and your managers are young.
Exactly, and that's actually the right thing, because I believe you guys have actually said it all. So don't forget to join us on another edition of Just with 7. The aged are useful. You understand? So let's not, if you have aged people around you, just love and appreciate them, respect them, and honor them, because that is one of the most important things to do among all that. So this is Patience Okai from 7 TV. Bye for now.